we decided to establish the status of each sector, CAA, the express toll. So wanted to know the status, and it is how we came up with this. I may call it investigation, because investigation is not always bad. At times it is good, because we want to prepare for the next tolling that could be on the Ginger and any other road. So we wanted to understand the circumstances under which these people are operating, how they came to, how the ministry came to give this contract to a private company. And in so doing, we decided to invite everyone, because of principles of natural justice. Everyone must be given a fair hearing before we make a final report. So we have invited the accounting officer today. We had not met her, the former accounting officer, Madam Allen Kajina. We have also invited the former Minister of Works, Cabinet Minister, General Katumba Wamala, and the ministry is also here together. We hope Aegis will also come, because this is the last meeting. I've also received communication from the General. He is needed in State House at midday, so we shall give him an opportunity where necessary to present as early as possible.
I don't have much to say. As you realize that this is 2026, and you have heard when this matter came to the ministry. And so we have been relying and depending on the contract manager, because we had not changed the contract manager. So I will stick to what the contract manager provided, and the PS, Minister of Works, may add, because as a minister, we don't run contracts. We don't sign contracts, we don't run contracts. Ours is only policy and political oversight. So we don't go into the nitty-gritties of running a contract. Every contract has a contract manager, and the contract manager is given that responsibility, except where the contract manager raises issues which require the intervention of the minister. Then that's when the minister can come in. But as you realize that this project, first of all, by the time it became, we never had a tolling policy. And so the first thing was to get a tolling policy, which Parliament passed in 2018, and that's when the entry now into tolling came. And of course, as already explained, it is different from what happened with Kenya. Kenya with the CRBC, for them they did a PPP, public-private partnership, and the company recoups its money. In this case, it was in our case, it was design, build, and transfer, which was different, and which, of course, as already highlighted by the executive director, the processes were done to contract the right person to operate. I for one, in this case, where they are passing on the back, and the coming up with a new contractor, since there's a provision within the contract with Aegis, the novation, and the novation was authorized by the Attorney General, because the process again was pursued to get the novation done, and the Attorney General approved the novation. And also, given that this is a local company, and we have been fighting for enabling local companies to build capacity, I would have no qualms having a local company to run the tolling. Yes, there may be lessons learned which we need to learn out of all this, but again, that's part of the growth, because others, we could not have known even some of the challenges if we had not picked on the challenge. So for me, I support the local company, and if there are issues which needs to be corrected, to enable the local company to replace Aegis, which is a French company, I would be home and dry to have a local company running the contract. Of course, there's need to improve on the technology, as the modern technology goes. We have been one of the things we did was to work bring our ICT gurus on board to say, can you look at this technology and recommend which is the best way to go to improve on the services. And that's where they were examining the use of GAIN SS, which the Ministry of ICT was helping us to come up with. So, Honorable Chair, I would rather stick to the presentation as done by the contract manager and the additional information as provided by the executive director who had the project under her armpit, and I think she has provided very good information.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, do you wish to say something, or in your capacity?
I'll go page by page, and on page 1, the question reads, what informed Uganda's choice of a contractor, unlike the aforementioned countries? And the response is that the expressway was structured as a design and build transfer to government, and after the transfer, government contracted it out for operation and maintenance. In that regard, Uganda's decision to engage a private contractor to operate and maintain the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway was primarily informed by the financing and contractual obligations established under the original project's loan agreement. In specific, the loan agreement signed on 18th May 2011 guided the DB and the repayment mechanism agreement signed on 14th March 2012, guided the operation and maintenance, and escrow account agreement signed on 7th July 2016 guided the revenue management. We've annexed all the copies of the loan agreement in the file that was submitted. But in conclusion, unlike Uganda, where the government of Uganda is the concessionaire, Kenya constructed the Nairobi Expressway through a full public-private partnership where the investor invested in the road to recoup his payment through tolls, and therefore revenues therefore collected directly by the investor using his own mechanisms. Number 2 was a feasibility study conducted to determine the best approach to managing the toll services, given the advantages of the alternative approaches. Why or why not? Chair, yes, a feasibility study was conducted by a company called Toll Infrastructure Services in 2019, following the completion of the construction of the expressway. But as indicated above, the report also cited the limitations of alternative approaches such as PPP model referenced to in Kenya by the signed repayment mechanism agreement and escrow account agreement. We've annexed the feasibility study in the submission. And number 3 is, has the Ministry of Works and Transport conducted a feasibility study comparing the cost of self-managing versus contracting the operations and maintenance? Chair, this was the first expressway toll road in the country managed by the ministry, and has been used as a baseline to study and build capacity on the operations and maintenance. The ministry is going to undertake a detailed cost comparison of self-management as opposed to outsourcing. I'll turn to page 2. This is under cost of operation and maintenance of the toll services. And the question was, how was the cost of the operator services of UGX 122 billion derived, including any considerations and assumptions made? The ministry undertook a unit rate build-up for all the constituent items, stock activities to be undertaken under the operation and maintenance contract. This was based mainly on historical and prevailing market rates of similar activities undertaken under the various contracts. The summation of all those informed the estimate for the operations and maintenance contract sum. The contract sum of 122 billion was the best evaluated bid price, which involved 9 international firms established through a competitive 2-stage international procurement process conducted in accordance with the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Act and regulations, while adopting the World Bank's output and performance-based road contract procurement approach and bidding procedures. The scope of the contract covered a broad range of services, as we've outlined below. One was the routine and periodic road maintenance. Two is the toll collection operations and toll plaza maintenance, marketing, branding, and customer service, incident management and emergency response, overload control, 24-hour route patrols and free roadside assistance, traffic management and road safety interventions, maintenance of road lighting, drainage, landscaping, and other roadside infrastructure. In addition to preserving the road asset, the contract provides value-added services that are generally not available on non-toll roads within the national road network. These include continuous road lighting, enhanced security, rapid incident response, routine patrols, timely maintenance interventions, and improved customer experience, all of which contribute to enhanced road safety, reduced travel times, and greater reliability for road users. And below is a summary of the contract price, breaking down the 122. We had performance-based operation and maintenance services totaling to 55 billion, taking a share of 45% of the whole contract. One-off design and construction works, 25 billion. These were done in the first 6 months of the contract. That takes 21%. Physical contingency on the one-off design was 10%, accounting for 2.5 billion. Admeasured road maintenance works, taking 12 billion, and that's 10%. Applied 10% physical contingency on admeasured works. We allowed for price variation, which is 10% of A, B, AD, and E, accounting to 6.9 billion, totaling to 104 billion. When we applied VAT of 18%, it came to 122 billion in total. The next question says, given that the project income was 146 billion, how could the operator be contracted at 122 billion, knowing that this would be at least 83.9% of the projected revenue, before factoring in the additional 3% from electronic card usage? Honorable members, government borrowed $350 million to develop a total of 52 kilometers of the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway. This included Munyonyo Spa and the section of Mpala to Entebbe Airport. The toll section of that development is only 25 kilometers, and that is the Busega to Mpala section, which is equivalent, if we prorata by length over the amount, the Kampala Expressway alone, the 25 kilometers which is tolled, would total to about $168 million as an investment cost, while the balance of the 27 kilometers is not tolled and does not generate direct revenue, although it contributes to the GDP through the other exogenous benefits. Whereas the projected toll revenue for the initial 5-year period was projected at 146 billion, which was marginally higher than the contracted price of 122 billion, which represents 56% of the expected. This represents 56% of the expected realized revenue based on the current collections. In our projections, by December, we will have about 218 billion for the first 5 years. That is a realized revenue. As per June, we stood at 191 billion total collected. However, during the initial years of the operation of any greenfield toll road, such as the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway, it is generally expected that toll revenue may not be sufficient to fully meet operating and maintenance costs while simultaneously servicing project debt. While traffic volumes have continued to increase by approximately 5% per annum, consequently, the revenue performance is expected to increase to 289 billion within the next 5 years and about 369 billion within the next 10 years. I'll turn to page 4.